Yeah, we're all back.
Yay! All of us except for Bink.
Yeah, well, he's whatever.
He's. I heard he's playing Dave Matthews' rusty trombone.
It's probably not far off from the truth.
Well, it's definitely not Tom Petty's.
Well, it might be. Maybe he lied to all of us.
Tom Petty's dead.
So that's what you get a shovel for.
Jesus Christ. So that's how we're starting this one, kids. A little light necrophilia.
So anyway, Bob and I recorded last night, Rich, and we did a Simpsons episode. It was really Simpsons centric in the sense of no matter how obscure or how common, really, because there's a long history of the show now that spans nearly 4 decades. Just like your favorite characters, like no matter how minor, if they showed up for one scene, 30 seconds, or to the level of a Homer.
Gotcha.
So I don't know. Just curious to see your thoughts. I figured it'd be a cool way to open this up.
Oh, my favorite all-time character, and it's probably one that doesn't play the same today if you look at like modern Simpsons, but because I grew up like the same time you guys did, where mentally challenged people were funny. Ralph is definitely my favorite Simpsons character, hands down. Especially when you get the it tastes like burning. The elf tells me the burn thing. The leprechaun tells me the burn.
Yeah.
These berries taste like burning.
I bet my Wookiee.
We didn't even mention that last night.
No.
And that's another one that I fucking say all the time.
What?
I bet my Wookiee, yeah.
No, we talked about him. We talked about how Bloodhound Gang has an entire song that's just made up of his quotes.
Hey, Big Daddy, is regular size Daddy. Just stick your head.
Ralph is really, really hard to beat. I mean, it really is.
Like purely from a comedic standpoint, you don't get much better than him.
Yeah,
you really don't.
And when it comes to Simpsons figures, because I collect everything, I have some of them.
Ooh, cool.
I like. He's just a drunk, but I like Barney. I like drunk Barney. I don't like sober Barney. I like drunk Barney.
Yeah, sober Barney's kind of lame.
Yeah.
We didn't even mention. Fuck, dude. We didn't even mention Mr. Plow last night when we were talking about our episode.
No, we didn't. That's such a. What's funny? I know you meant my all-time favorite episode is Deep Space Homer, and I didn't even touch that one.
Yeah, because that's another great one.
I almost went with my favorite character as the inanimate carbon rod.
There you go. I like Gil. I think Gil's funny, even though he's just a parody of.
That's another one we didn't talk about.
This is why we have to have the three of us when we do this shit, because we're so brain dead. We forgot half the shit that we like.
Because I'll know you'll never listen, Rich. My all-time favorite character is Vincent Price.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's good. Crazy cat lady too. I just like throwing the cat.
Oh man.
Oh fuck, dude.
And she's got a name too, doesn't she?
I don't remember.
It's isn't it like Agnes something?
I think it's Agnes. Yeah.
All right, Google.
And then I'm sure they all had names, but Database is the only one whose name comes with the kid, the geeky kid,
the nerdy kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Eleanor Abernathy.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
Wendell, the kid that always throws up. That was only like the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Shit. When you said
Grimy was a good character too.
We did Frank Grimes. Yeah. It's hard to forget. You can't really forget Frank Grimes.
Yeah.
When you said Database, it reminded me of somebody. And we didn't mention Professor Frank.
Oh, how do you not mention Professor Frank?
Well, like I said, man, we were doing this off top.
Hans Moleman is one of my favorites too.
We did mention Hans. We did mention Hans Moleman. Fuck. That's gonna bug the shit out of me now that I can't remember. Like I had it and I didn't want to interrupt you, so I didn't just but for the people at home, that was a great visual that I just.
Yeah, that's right. You said database and the Super Friends. I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Troy McClure, the fish fucker. Is a good one too.
We didn't mention fish fucking, but we did mention Troy McClure. We mentioned
we actually kind of went more in Phil Hartman.
I wish I was gay. I wish it was that simple.
That's right.
Cletus, Mr. Twilliger, he's done going to heaven.
We mentioned Cletus.
Yeah.
We mentioned Disco Stew.
Oh, Disco Stew's good.
Disco Stew doesn't advertise.
Patrick Stewart's character from the Stonecutters episode.
Yeah.
Did we mention the episode where Mr. Burns has the Republican National Convention people or whatever it is, and it's like Dracula and
No, we didn't talk about that one, but that was great. I forgot all about that.
The two Mr. Burn ones I like the best were the one where he's an alien because of all of his treatments and stuff.
I bring you love. It brings us
my vest, real gorilla chest. I really like that vest.
The musical episode. Yeah, it's so good. One of the other ones we didn't even talk about this last night, but the again, it's more of a Troy McClure thing, but the Planet of the Apes one. With Dr. Zaius.
It was Earth.
Yeah, Mark Hamill's on it. Luke, that's the one with Luke be a Jedi tonight on it, right? Too.
Dr. Zaius.
I think so. Yeah.
Dr. Zaius.
Dr. Zaius.
Earworms, they're so good at that.
Dude, they are. They really are. It's just amazing how. I mean, I guess. The thing is, all right, look, we can sit here and debate quality.
Hank Scorpio.
Yeah, we did talk about Hank Scorpio.
We did do Hank Scorpio, yeah.
We can sit here and debate the quality or lack thereof of later seasons and everything. But when you think of a show that's lasted as long as this show has, it's still, I'll even take the worst Simpsons episodes up against a show like Big Bang Theory. Fuck Big Bang Theory. I think that show sucks ass. It's the most overrated piece of shit that's ever come out of Hollywood. I will watch the worst seasons of The Simpsons before I'll watch an episode.
Wow, really? You don't like that show at all?
Not even a little bit.
They were in the closet making babies, and I saw one of the babies, and he waved at me.
See, you don't get that shit on Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's just, it's funny. We getting into some of the ones we did last night, and we even after we stopped recording, we rattled off 5 or 10 more characters that we didn't even think about. That again, whether they're bit players or major players, because even it's funny. Go and look at Maud Flanders, or even Ned Flanders. We didn't even mention him. Really.
Yeah, we didn't mention Ned.
We talked about Rod and Todd a little bit, but never even got to Ned. And Ned's crazy enough. And one of my favorites, if I go back and look at it,
now Daddy's stupid,
is Reverend Lovejoy. And if you really look at a lot of his lines, they're so good. Yeah. They really are.
We didn't mention the. It's almost like I'm wearing nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
Stupid, sexy standards.
Stupid, sexy Flanders. Yeah. Or when Homer's saying in the episode with Mindy, think on sexy thoughts. Yeah. Barney. Yeah. God, it's so good. I don't care, man. I'm telling you, there's not many shows that I would take over The Simpsons. If you were to say, look, you can have the run of any show or The Simpsons. I can't really think of many that I would take. Maybe It's Always Sunny. Maybe Doctor Who, because Doctor Who has just as many episodes, if not more. But I feel like The Simpsons I could watch. I could just watch over and over and over again, even the worst fucking episodes.
I think when we did our Desert Island stuff many, many years ago now on this podcast, I want to say that one of us mentioned The Simpsons as a series they would bring with them. because of that reason, because there's so much content there.
Right. And that was why I took Disney Plus as my streaming service, because all of the Simpsons episodes are on Disney Plus.
So I don't know. It's cool. I know Rich, you mentioned before. I know about podcasts that has been going back and playing through the Simpsons episodes.
Yeah, the Talking Simpsons podcast.
Yeah, so I'll have to check that one out.
They get it's weird. It's one guy's from Retronauts, another podcast that's about video games and stuff, and the other guy is from the Laser Time Podcast Network, and they've gone on to do this Talking Simpsons thing, and it's like they've had Rebecca Sugar and I can't think of the black guy she's married to, but he did OKKO. They've had real. They've had Simpsons interviews with Simpsons creators too, which is kind of neat. So they've got like a legit podcast going.
What are you trying to say?
Legit, but you know what I mean. Like anyone can do a Simpsons fan podcast, but then you go get like writers from the Simpsons to do this thing, with you, kind of a thing.
Yeah, it kind of makes it.
Or California.
Kind of makes it a little bit better.
Yeah.
We got to work on guests, man. Did we ever get that guy that wrote the book about chupacabras?
No, nobody.
No, I never reached.
Exactly. We had Johnny Bench a couple of times.
We have had Johnny Bench a couple of times.
He's still alive, right? Can we legit get Johnny Bench?
There's no way in fucking hell.
Does
Johnny
he know
Bench
what he's
is
doing?
alive.
Can we just like?
Yeah, he's his mental faculties are there. I suppose.
Oh, man, we'd have a better chance if they were a little looser.
Well, yeah, no shit. Like that's why I'm trying to think of like famous people that might. I mean, maybe Gary Busey. Could we get Gary Busey?
Gary Busey.
I don't know, man. We kind of do. Think about the shit show that would be.
Had I brought a box of Hostess donuts to that conference or convention a couple weeks ago, we could have got Edward Furlong.
Hostess donuts.
No way, man. He only holds out for the good stuff. He'd have had to bring Entmans.
Yeah, see?
You're in Philly, man. Here's some tasty cake. It's good stuff.
Yeah. This is the good stuff. Wait, it's good stuff. It's the good stuff. No, not for in your arm, Edward. He starts trying to fucking put a candy cake into a needle and shit. Trying to.
I probably could have just walked out with Bob Eubanks. Like, this way, sir. We're going back to your car. It's this way.
Oh, Bob Eubanks would have been a fucking get, dude. He would have been a get.
In the butt, Bob.
That would have been fucking fantastic.
Is Bob Barker still alive, right?
No.
No, he died finally.
Yeah. Bob Barker.
I just found out that, well, a little late now, but Tina Turner was still alive until a couple days ago.
No, don't put that in his zeitgeist. Bob Barker is still alive and he's 99 years old.
Oh, I thought he was dead.
No, I was going to say
John Aston's still alive too, and I think he's pushing. He's got to be close to 100.
Gomez.
Yeah.
Listen, Tina Turner died, so we're only one into the.
And the best Punisher died, Ray Stevenson.
Oh no, there's two. Yeah. So there's two. So we're still missing the third for the rule of three.
You know that only happens if you stop counting after 3.
Well, yeah.
Let's see. Got to be someone else, right?
I mean, my career, but
I mean, not your career, but celebrity. Let's see. I don't know. Yeah, no one recently, right?
I've got the Penn and Teller Simpsons figures too.
I used to have the Stonecutter Homer.
Oh, dude, Jim Brown.
Oh yeah, Jim Brown. All right, good. So we're
gonna say there's someone recently. Yeah,
we're through the 3. All right.
I almost wish I bought the Aerosmith ones, at least the Steven Tyler and Joe Perry.
You mean, AKA the only 2 people that from Aerosmith that anyone knows besides like a handful of people.
Yes. Isn't it Whitmore or something? One of their names.
Yeah, it's Brad Whitmore, Tommy Kramer is the drummer.
Steven Tyler gave me the keys to his car in that game. Take our van.
Oh yeah, in Revolution X.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you go, well,
somehow throws them out of the TV to you.
that was impressive, Bob. You're about to rattle off all the names, weren't you?
Yeah, there's one more person I can't remember his damn name.
That's hold on. I'm gonna look this up now. Yeah, Brad
Like
Whitford.
Brad Whitford, Tommy
I was
Kramer.
Brad Whitford. Like that Whitford anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
obviously
always get
Steve.
screwed up when
Kramer?
people
Did we
say
say Kramer?
Bradley
Was there a
Whitford.
Kramer guy?
Huh?
Wasn't there a Kramer? Did we say
Yeah,
Kramer?
Tommy Kramer. He's the drummer.
Yeah, who else? You're almost there.
I can't remember the fifth guy.
Tyler and
Steven
the other
Tyler,
one.
Joe Perry,
Joey Kramer, Brad Whitford, and
Johnny Bench,
Tom Hamilton.
Tom Hamilton. Okay.
Very good. You're close.
And he went on to have that play. He's making money off of that.
Yeah. He
Um,
wrote that shit that Lin Manuel Miranda's in.
Oh, Perry. That's what had me thinking about that. I still haven't finished the Muppets yet, but I mean Muppets Mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
But
Are you still trying to fight your way through the Kevin Smith episode?
yeah, that's what's going on. Linda Perry did the music for that. It's the music director.
Mm-hmm.
She was the chick from Four Non-Blondes. No. Which one was the one that What's Going On? What's Going On?
Four Non-Blondes.
Okay, yeah. She was the lead singer from that. And she was the one that was married to Sarah Gilbert for forever. I don't think they're married anymore. But she also did the song, or wrote the song Beautiful. That was a hit for Christina Aguilera.
Oh.
Hmm.
You are beautiful no matter what they say. The world can't bring you down.
I can't remember what I had for lunch, but I can bring this stuff up every once in a while. Just to,
I've never listened to that whole fucking song, but I still managed to rip off an entire fucking.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I might have to chop that out for a ringtone.
And I say, yeah.
That could be
What's going on?
Wake yourself up in the morning.
And I cried.
Or across the room. And... No, dude. The best thing that ever came out of that fucking
the He-Man.
Yeah, the He-Man.
That's the reason why I know the song.
Oh my God, do I try?
Wow.
There's a 10-hour version of that shit on YouTube, and sometimes when I need to annoy people, I'll just put that on. Yeah,
there's some great 10-hour things on YouTube I've come across over the years that are just really, really annoying.
Dude, I was fucking bummed as hell the one day, and I was supposed to meet some people at the bar. So before I walked into the bar, I sat in the parking lot and I watched that video. I went in and I was okay. Like, it's so fucking bad, but it's hilarious and I love it. I realize I'm a garbage human being for being that entertained by it, but I don't care.
Bob, you would
Where was Shirley Manson?
Oh, I like Shirley Manson.
Yeah.
What's up?
Garbage?
Yeah.
No, before we started recording though, you wanted to talk about the we've mentioned on here before, the Project Q that's now got more teeth into it apparently, and
the PlayStation Quickie.
Yeah, dude. I
only said that just to get you riled up.
Well, here's the thing. I thought this was going to be universally panned. Like, I was going into it, I'm like, who the fuck actually thinks this is a good idea? Especially because it's going to be like $250 or more for it, right? So Sony right now has your PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 5, which is $500 if you want the disc version, $400 if you want the non-disc, right? And then if you're in other countries, it's more expensive than that. Then
countries don't matter.
You've got, well, that's true. And then you've got the PSVR 2, unless they're listeners, and then they definitely matter. And then you get the PSVR 2, which is what, $550 to start, right?
More expensive than the PS5,
right?
But somehow, according to this that thing they just had, their version of E3 or the hell it was, it sold more copies at this point than the PSVR, the first one.
Somehow, I call bullshit.
Like, it did some kind of weird. They may have been fudging the numbers, like, well, in this quarter it sold more than but apparently it's a bigger success than we think it is, which is scary.
I call bullshit because the only way to get it is to order it directly from them, and
I haven't. That tells you how.
Right.
Like, I'm not spending more on a peripheral.
Yeah, that's a really fair point. If you haven't got it, then there's no way that those numbers are correct.
Right. And that's the thing too. Like, you can only get it from Sony. Like a PSVR, you could buy at GameStop, you could buy it at Best Buy, you could buy it at Target, Walmart, whatever. You can't get it there yet. They're getting ready to ship it out.
What I do have is I ordered the it's like an adapter cable that you can use your PlayStation VR with the PlayStation VR 5 because apparently it can't, and that was free. It's just like you can call this number and order, and I'm like, well, fuck this. Any one of these things that you have to special order and wind up costing money later on. So I figured I'd go ahead and get it for free.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I've never hooked up my PSVR to my PS5 because it would take the 4K, and because I have the first round of the PSVR, it has to go through that boxy thing.
Mhm.
So like it cuts the resolution. Like, hey, why would I want to do that?
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
But so not only that, but
Yeah.
now you've got this thing that's coming out that it looks. I don't even really know how to fuck to describe the thing. It literally is a DualSense controller with the middle cut out and then glued to a switch. And you can't play it unless you're at home. You can't do streaming over, like I can't be at the airport and be like, oh, I want to play Madden, or I want to play Turtles or Tony Hawk or whatever, and boot it up on my home console and play it streaming over that. I can't download stuff to it. I can't play stuff streaming from like a cloud service. It's literally for when I'm in my house and I want to play on my PlayStation and I can't use the TV or don't want to use the TV.
While you're at the airport, though, you can do it with your cell phone and the PS Remote app.
Right, but that's what makes it even fucking more brain dead that this thing doesn't do it. Is I could have one of those backbones or whatever.
It's called a backbone.
The Sony branded fucking backbone. Put my
I was
phone
going to
in
mention
the
that.
and play it. But I can't do it with the fucking the Sony peripheral. What the fuck is the point? Who is this for? Unless it's $100, I don't see the point.
Yeah, was there any speculation on what the price point was going to be?
No, I mean people are saying anywhere between, like, they're saying what they would pay for it, but nobody has any clue so far what the actual pricing is going to be.
I'll be dead honest. Every single thing that I've read, we've talked about, whatever. And I love the Sony stuff. It's very evident. I've had every iteration of the console. I've had all the handhelds with exception to the Vita. Just didn't get into that one. So that was just one of the things I didn't pick up.
The Vita came with Remote Play 2 built into it. Again, it was just an app. But
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, speaking of that, like, that's the reason why I brought it up. Like, if this were more in tune with, okay, hey, this is what this is going to be, with this extra stuff of what you just said, Bob. Like, hey, I can be at the airport, I can roll out, I can make sure my PS5 is running, like, in stream games, whatever. But then maybe have, like, it doesn't even have to have, to me at this point, it doesn't even have to have a spot where I can insert a disc or a cartridge or whatever. Just something I can download games on and play.
Right.
You know,
I have a Vita game where you get in relationships with other women and they turn into the weapons you use in battle. That's why the Vita is awesome.
We're gonna circle back to that one, but yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, if there was some kind of actual functionality besides playing on my own network in my own house with my, where my system is, then maybe we're talking. If it's like $100, I could see people buying it. Maybe even 150. But essentially what you did is recreate the fucking Nintendo Wii. We all saw how well that went. Now, granted, that didn't have the best software library, so you're kind of, it's kind of apples to oranges a little bit, but at the same time, it just doesn't, there's no value added to it in my mind. There's no value added to buying this thing, especially if it's gonna, and they didn't even do an OLED screen on it. It's an LCD screen. So they're dropping the quality. Everything is dropping on it. I really don't see the point of this fucking thing. Like,
unless they plan to build it so with a software update it can do streaming games like cloud gaming, or they haven't announced. Maybe it's just not ready for cloud gaming yet, but they're trying to build that into it.
Maybe, but then you got to announce that, though. You have to say, because otherwise, this is it's a gimped Steam Deck. You know, it's
I was just going to say it's just an Android cell phone. It's the leftover controllers from the Amico that they bought really cheap that they're going to.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say it was like kind of like, hey, we have all this stuff left over from the last iterations of the Vita. We're just going to slap it with some, Sony controller type stuff and be done with it.
Maybe they figure since Microsoft said that they already lost that they can do whatever the hell they want now. Let's do this weird thing. People buy it.
maybe. I mean,
Hey, I have a theory now. I think Vince McMahon's running Sony.
fuck, they might be. Jesus
That'd be
Christ!
Does
All
he
right,
still have that
hold on.
mustache?
Hold on. All right, I'm reading the features for this fucking game. Okay, when two girls get it on, one girl turns into a super weapon. Wield your incredible pleasure-powered weapons to take on hordes of enemies. Ultra-fast hack and slash action with a focus on stylish aerial combos. Power up your weapons by turning on your girlfriends. Weapons can be leveled up in strength up to 15 times, getting bigger and more awesome looking every time. Get your favorite girls into the dressing room and rub and touch to raise their levels. Choose between 7 playable characters to master. Bait 2. Return of the clothing destruction system. Clothes get more ripped the more you fight. 28 story missions to tackle with high quality anime visuals.
Well, that should.
Hentai visuals.
Yeah, this was made by the same people that made the Senran Kagura games, the ninja girl games, and that had that clothing thing too, where the more you fight with them, the more their clothes get ripped up. And then as a power up, you can rip off all your clothes and you get extra stuff. Extra power. Yeah.
Here's a rundown of the game via the developer. Valkyrie Drive Bikuni is the outrageous new project by the creators of Senran Kagura that combines high-octane busty brawling and an awesome aerial-based combat system with pleasure-based weaponry and destructible clothing. This is the cheeky third-person action game you've been waiting for all your life.
Yeah, it's
In the
also when
world of-
Sony decided to stop supporting the Vita, they got all these kinds of weird Japanese hentai.
I mean, all you really needed to do was just play the ROM hack of River City Ransom.
Oh, yeah. Hold on, though. I'm not done. In the world of Valkyrie Drive, a group of girls have been infected with a mysterious armed virus. When infected, the girls become either X-Tars, who transform into high-powered weapons when sexually aroused, or Liberators, who, after triggering a transformation, have the power to wield the X-Tars weapon form, the Liberator arms.
I'm pretty sure there was an anime too.
What you're saying is that game has basically hundreds of more features than Project Q.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong.
There was also that I think it started on the Vita, but I could be wrong. It's moved on since then, but it was that role-playing game where it was basically the console wars, but every console was a sexy woman instead.
Yep.
Or sexy anime girl.
Yeah, Hyperdimension Neptunia. Yeah, I actually like those games. So
which is why the Vita is awesome.
I'm not going to talk shit on them.
I like Senran Kagura. It's a fun game, and like the nudities. Well, not even they don't get nude, but that's like second. Like, okay, I see why you did this, but you somehow made a fun game around this.
Yeah, and that's the Neptunia games. It's like
something we've already talked about.
Is Sega, and then there's an Xbox, a Nintendo, a Sony. It's all just like Japanese hijinks, like comedy kind of shit, but with like these anime girls.
Yeah, like I said, I think that's what bums me out about the this announcement of with Project Q. The Vita was like, and again, I never had one, so I don't have a lot of frame of reference on it. But it's like you had something to build from for your next handheld, and you went absolutely nowhere with it.
Right.
And that's what bums me out more than anything else. It's like I was really excited with everything they've done so far with the PS5. You know, they're really going strong. You know, and then this comes out, and it's like, come on, like Microsoft doesn't really have to release anything that's handheld, mainly on the fact that they can do things with software based, with things that are already out there, with Steam Deck and these other things that are out there. And obviously we have Nintendo's stuff, but we're talking about a different sect here, and it just sucks. Like, let's give us something.
Right.
They give us absolutely nothing.
I was really hoping that the reports were wrong and that there was some kind of maybe the modular PlayStation that people were talking about was somehow related to the Project Q, and that maybe the hard drive, the disk drive, the optical drive would somehow attach to it or something like that. That there would be some kind of connection between the two systems, and there's not. It's just, it really seems like it's nothing more than a home streaming device. And knowing Sony, I mean, we've seen the price points that they've put stuff out at. They don't ever put anything out on the cheap.
No.
So even when the Vita TV came out, and it was literally just a little box that plugged into your TV that played Vita games with a DualShock 3, I think it came with. What did that launch at? Like 150, 200, something like that?
Yeah, I'm kicking my ass for not buying them when they were like $25.
Yeah, I know, me too. Because aren't they like really expensive now?
Yeah, because you can jailbreak them.
Yeah.
The Project Q rumored price point is between, anyone want to take a guess?
$250 to $350.
I was gonna say 250 to 300.
Yeah, you're in the ballpark. Yeah, $199 to $299. That's the rumored price point at launch. It's
I didn't see. This looks exactly like that that thing that I had for the Wii U, the Wii U gamepad.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, man. Like, it was, I just can't see paying that much. Like, even the Wii U though, like the Wii U was cool because I was able to take, when I went to, and I guess you could, no, you can't, because it still has to be connected to the same Wi-Fi and everything, and you have to have a good Wi-Fi connection. But like when I would bring the Wii U back home, I could, if I put it in my carry-on, I could plug it in and play the Wii U games on the tablet, on the Wii U gamepad, while I'm sitting in the airport, if I so chose. And I did a couple times. Like, if I was in the airport for a long time, I would sit there and fucking plug it in and just sit there and play that. And then, but you couldn't do that with a PlayStation 5 and a Project Q, because number one, the PlayStation 5 is gonna, what backpack are you gonna find that's gonna fit in? Second of all, you need the persistent good Wi-Fi, and you're just not going to be able to do that.
Here's my thing, and maybe I'll play devil's advocate on this for them. On the one thing is, maybe they made this announcement completely wrong, and based on how this thing looks to me, the way it looks, because how much, Bob, we've talked about this before. How much is that that Sony controller that they have that is, it's compartmentalized?
$200.
Oh, the PlayStation. What the fuck is it called?
Yeah, it's modular.
It just showed up under another thing. It's $200.
Yeah, it's modular, right? So my thing is this: if they would have, based on how this is, because of same network, whatever, we're going to release a controller with a screen, because that's basically what it is.
Right.
I mean, if they would have made that announcement, I think this thing is maybe a little more favorable, because I think with us anyway, when we think of handheld, it's something that we can take and physically play somewhere else, Game Boy, whatever. Obviously, that's not the case with this thing. This thing is like basically a controller with a screen. So if the announcement to me is made that way, and I realize that other people seem to be favoring this thing, I'm just saying that, like, if that's what it was framed as, not necessarily a mobile handheld device that I could take wherever, the beach, the airport, play games, I think this thing is maybe a bit more favorable, but I'm not paying $300 for it anyway.
So my thought process looks like this. Unless there's functionality that it adds, I'm still not looking favorably on it. Because number one, because of the price point that it's likely to launch at.
Right.
Number two, because unless they've corrected the joystick issues that they were having, you're looking at another heavy price tag item that's going to be prone to stick drift, and you're looking at another high priced item that it's going to be a pain in the ass to fix, and you're looking again, if it's not adding functionality, I still just don't see the point. Like
even if it adds functionality, like let's say it does second screen, like the Wii U gamepad, the cough medicine is kicking, like the Wii U gamepad. Games are gonna have to support that though, so you're not gonna have any games out of the thing. So it's going to be new games to support it. But
Right.
who's going to support a $300 peripheral? Why would you build your game around that?
Exactly. And that's the thing too, is it, that's why the Kinect failed. The Kinect, there was, games that came out
because it didn't work.
Well, but there were games that came out that were like with Madden and with I forget what other game, but there was like a handful of games that when it came out, games came out that tacked on they didn't make it mandatory, but there were games that came out that tacked on Kinect functionality. So like in Madden, I could say audible, and then it would bring up the audible screen, and then I could change the play without having to know a combination of buttons and stuff like that. So it did some stuff that was more immersive, but at the same time, it didn't make it worth it to me. There were games like it was either Halo or Gears where you could, and maybe it was the Halo Wars where you could direct soldiers with your voice. You could say, Platoon 5 attack, whatever base, and then that unit would go attack. Stuff like that, which is really cool in theory, but it was just something that I would never put into practice.
And they had that Star Wars game where you could sing like Han Solo and dance.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
You were using the Kinect for that?
I never had that game. I have I have the 360 that came with, and I have the Kinect that came with, but I didn't get the game or the C-3PO controller that came with it.
Gotcha.
But the system itself is really cool because it's designed like R2-D2, and it makes R2-D2 noises, and it has like cool little like callbacks and stuff. Like when you open the disc tray, it says, "Save us, Obi-Wan, or save me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope."
Was it a 360 or is 360 Slim?
360 Slim.
Okay, so it doesn't burn up after. So
Right. Yeah, it's still going. I mean, knock wood, it's still going strong. So
yeah,
currently
the Kinect technology is really neat. They actually had some applications with that in schools, with basically the writing in the air and stuff like that, as far as being able to do that and then display on a projector, screen, whatever.
People turned them into 3D scanners too.
Yeah, there's some pretty neat applications with those things. It's a shame that I thought the technology was really neat, but it never really went anywhere. Quite frankly, they never took it anywhere anyway.
Right.
Well,
Yeah,
now,
other people developed cool shit for it.
Yeah, the LiDAR became a thing, which is like built. I know the iPhone's got it built into it. I don't have any apps that use it, but that's basically the same technology or similar technology. Does the same thing. Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not necessarily going to be running out and buying a $300 controller screen. I know that much.
No, you launch it at $50, I'll buy it just out of curiosity. You launch it any higher than that?
You launch it at $50. That's cheaper than their controllers now for the PS5.
Yeah, that's
so
true. Sorry. You launch it at $100. maybe.
Yeah, the backbone's $100, so it's got to be at least 200, I think.
Right, and that's the thing, but that's exactly why I'll never pick one up unless it's like they've got it. If, like Tom said, if for some reason they just didn't announce, you know, or maybe it was you. I think it was you, Rich. It said they must be working on shit behind the scenes, like some kind of streaming or whatever. If that's the case, maybe down the line I pick one up, but I'm not, as of right now. I know of two things from Sony that I'm not planning on getting: PSVR 2 and this fucking thing.
Yeah.
I was hoping to see a PSVR price reduction with this last thing they did, but nope.
No, dude, they're gonna push that off. I don't think you'll see it. Maybe around Christmas, you'll see some kind of sale or some kind of bundle, some bundle. But you're not. I don't think you're going to see anything major until maybe next Christmas.
Yeah,
next holiday season, because
I would say Christmas of 24. That thing may drop to, and I say that thing meaning the PSVR 2, maybe $399.
Yeah,
at that point.
And we'll see, because I mean, at that point, they might even, by that point, maybe the Pro will be out, the PS5 Pro, if they decide to go that route. If they don't just release a whole new system, like skip the whole half measure this generation and go with
they'll definitely release a Pro. I think if they're releasing junk like they're releasing with this Q, and yeah, because like really the PSVR, I think we talked about on here before, had a straight life cycle to the PSVR 2 of 6 years. So they're going to have to release a Pro.
Yeah.
And that's my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah. I still want to see where this modular thing, if it ever releases, the one with the modular optical drive. That fascinates me, because I mean, it's cool, but you just don't want to segment. Well, you're not segmenting you've already segmented your base, but it would be cool to see them make it kind of like when the original 360 came out. You could get either the base model that was just the 360 and it came with a wired controller, and then if you wanted to down the line, you could buy the wireless controller and the hard drive. So, and that's actually how I did it, because I didn't want the wireless controller, and I could get the hard drive that day with the base system, but I couldn't get I wasn't able to get the normal like the hard drive, the system that came with the hard drive. But I was like, fuck it, I just want the wireless control, or I want the wired controller anyway, because I still didn't trust wireless at that point, and it worked out well. But I don't know, man. It's Sony's. They're just confusing right now with some of their decisions.
Like I said, Vince McMahon's behind the scenes. That's all I can figure.
It's got to be Vince. And you're right too, Rich, with them saying, with Microsoft basically admitting, hey man, fucking Sony beat us. Sony won. So now Sony can just do whatever the fuck they want, because they know that Microsoft isn't going to try and keep up. Microsoft isn't really going to, there may or may not be an improved version of the Series X. I feel like they feel like they threw their best shot out there and they got beat. And it all has to do, in my opinion, with software. Microsoft has not stepped up to the plate with the software that they needed to put out in order to keep up.
Which is odd, because they keep buying software companies.
Right.
Yeah, that's the most bizarre thing.
What's the last thing that Rare put out besides Rare Replay? Which, amazing, by the way. I love the Rare Replay. But seriously, what's the last fucking thing they've put out?
Yeah, I was going to say, how long ago was that now?
Right. That was back 2015. 20...
Yeah, I was going to say, you're talking nearly 10 years.
Right. Like, dude, they're squandering their resources, and it drives me fucking crazy. As somebody who is an Xbox fan, it just drives me insane to see them they have these great IP, and they're just sitting on them. No, you know what the last thing Rare came out with was? The fucking Bond remake or remaster.
Oh, GoldenEye?
Yeah. That's it.
You know, it's at least they release something, unlike
True.
the Amico.
Yeah. You know, I think our asses have released more enjoyable things than the Amico.